Welcome along to Dubai and the First Class Lounge. But only one of them, there are three to choose from and all in walking distance. The Concourse B Emirates Lounge is a main first class lounge and indeed the first one you come to after check-in, but not necessarily the one you want to visit as it's much older. It's also still got an amazing a la carte restaurant, good seating and good views. It's right after check-in and it's a lounge most passengers head for, at least those at the pointy end, and it gets vastly more traffic than the other two in the A and C concourses. It's huge, with seats for nearly 800 first-class passengers, and on a busy morning it seems like all of them are in here, and then some. Mid-afternoon, there won't be a soul in the place. It's all very pleasant, but it's also getting quite old and tired. Some of the furniture seems to have been designed in the 1960s, and it looks almost, but not quite, retro. At least there's a big gap in the middle of the lounge where you can gaze down on those less fortunate tickets. There's a large dining room with a la carte dining, while there's also acres and acres of seats. And they do genuinely seem to go on for ages, but thankfully they're divided up into groups. There's a bar area on the right too, and a private wine store where you can buy some really expensive bottles of wine. The views are as good as the dining, which is absolutely top notch, as it should be if you've paid $300 to get in here. The dining room has a la carte service with red roses on every table. At breakfast time, the eggs Benedict are worthy of note, while at lunchtime you can get a good burger and afternoon tea with sandwiches as well. Buffet dining too, but if you're in a hurry, the fridge here has got a much smaller selection than, oddly, the business class lounge. Don't miss the Japanese counter by the entrance with fresh sushi chopped up on demand, if you like to see your fish sliced up in front of you, that is. There's also a separate Mediterranean counter with lots of Greek and Turkish staples. However, some of the morning offerings are quite Spartan, with a tray of cold cuts that wouldn't be out of place in a travelodge and croissants that are as stuffed as the passengers. Thankfully, it's often quite difficult to find room to eat anything, because if you're transferring from one first-class flight to another, chances are you'll have had 2 6-course meals already and another 2 just an hour later. Yet more first world problems. There's actually a proper bar in the Concourse B First Class Lounge, unlike the one in Concourse A. It's right in the middle of the lounge and it's one of the most miserable places to sit. Wide and open, and even the bar looks like a 1960s cocktail bar in Clapham, with just a few odd bottles of spirits decorating the walls. There's a charging station, newspaper rack, and one of the most plasticky of children's rooms to keep the children seen but not heard, and that really completes the entertainment in the Concourse B First Class Lounge. No wonder then, faced with such delights, many passengers head to the wine shop for a browse. It's called Le Clos, well that's French for enclosed or very expensive, and it's a duty-free private wine store where bottles start at hundreds of dollars per bottle. Far end is a day spa and hairdresser, which you really don't want to miss, if only because it offers a de-stress back massage. And after the stress of walking so far through the lounge, you really need to have one of these first world problems. But But all in all, the Concourse B First Class Lounge is lovely. And once you've flashed your first class ticket or paid the $300 the Emirates Lounge charge for a day rate, and that's just for a 3-hour visit, you enter a place that seems like a Middle Eastern temple with fountains and castle walls. And finally, when the time comes to leave, there are gates in the lounge itself, so you don't have to mix with the hoi polloi below.